Um, I think people are happier with their jobs.
Yeah, a little bit more loyalty.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Do tell, Barry. Would you like to expand on that? Mm-hmm.
No. Just so you know, I'm going to be about worthless today. I got back at 7 last night from Sacramento.
Uh,
So,
Sacramento, California.
yeah.
Oh, been there.
of
All
no.
right. Um, there was a girl in our ward that she received her admission call yesterday to Modesto. And I'm like, I've been there. I know that crap hole.
I,
Sorry.
I served in Fresno.
My dad grew up in Fresno.
I had a
Nice.
roommate from Modesto.
My mom grew up in Hanford, and my dad grew up in Fresno.
Nice. I wonder if they split the mission then, because Modesto used to be part of my mission.
Oh, I'm sure they have. Were you there when the temple was built?
I was there after it was built. It was already there.
Okay, so when they built it, they did this huge like history of the church in the area, and the first branch met in my great grandfather's. He wasn't a member, but he built his wife was, and the children, and so he built above his shop a room for the first branch to meet, and then so when they did the whole history, like in the like I want to say the Desert News or whatever. There's a picture. What they would do as a branch, as they slowly got bigger, they on every Sunday they would go out to the redwood forest or the sequoia forest and have a
Mm-hmm.
picnic. And they took a picture. And my grandmother is a teenager in the back row.
Huh.
I
That's
know.
cool.
Anyway, sorry. So Fresno is a special place in our heart, but we still think the whole Central Valley is kind of
The armpit.
sweaty. Yeah, well, yeah, we call it the armpit or the
Yep.
crotch. Oh, we use another word, but we grew up on the coast, and so it would be a 4-hour drive to grandma's house, kind of thing, you know. All right, so employees who are thinking of leaving the company. Oh, okay. So other examples that are given are employees who are thinking of leaving the company might realize there are opportunities for within the company. Um, more sense of network. When I think of mentoring, that's what I think of: networking and maybe a little bit of training, but
Mm-hmm.
mostly networking um, and well, they also give the example of seeing the value of additional education and a large number of the mentees being promoted. Okay, so now it says list the reasons for list the reasons for the positive results.
Dale, we're working at it. They,
Personal involvement, excellent.
Yeah, I just think I think that as you put more into your employees, they will give you more. They'll give you more of their time, more of their effort, more of their you'll get more heart out of them.
right,
As
because
I agree. Like I worked for a company that quarterly they would do lunch, and we thought that was fantastic. You know, like little things like that go a long way. Oh, they put a free soda machine. That
nice.
was that with like the Sonic Ice. It was so awesome, and it was like totally like a fountain drink,
Nice.
and I mean
That's
things like that.
that's what my husband said. He's like, feed engineers and they're happy. And
I, um, they list voluntary nature in the program. I think that's always a plus when people want to do it. They always put more effort into it. When it's demanded on them or oh, we have to go do this. And then they also said they did a thorough matching process, especially with the mentoring. That's important because you can't have people that annoy each other. But like that same company I was talking about, every so often the CEOs of the different departments would come in and do a lunch. And so you could do, I guess that was kind of like with this mentoring, like you can go ask them questions.
Mhm.
Um, what kind of education do you have to get to your position, and blah blah blah.
Right.
yeah, I think it also creates more open atmosphere from from the top down or bottom up, however you want to look at it. Um, but it takes your can put your CEOs and your workers on more of a level playing field because they know each other.
Yes. Well, to build off of that, because then sometimes, especially depending on how size the group or how much mentoring is happening, all of a sudden you're on first name basis with a CEO, and they're going to remember that later on. They're like, "Hey, I remember you from my mentoring group or whatever." When they have 2 applications on their desk or whatever, you know. So yeah, I think networking and so forth. Okay, so it says, ask the team, how can mentoring help employees with career development? I think we just kind of answered that. You know, definitely networking makes you a little bit more comfortable. Like when you take away that, ooh, that's the CEO or the CFO or whatever, you know, kind of, I'm not saying disrespectful to them, but take away that, like, you know how like sometimes when especially larger companies, people will have like this like, oh, they're untouchable, like, oh,
Yeah.
you can't talk to them, you can't approach them. It just makes them more approachable, and kind of like what Barry said, and also with networking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it says, what other approaches or programs might help employees to develop their careers? Other than mentoring, I think. Well, we've talked about career training.
Training and classes, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Workshops or like presentations of other companies that or schools or whatever might come in and do a presentation, or you know.
Well, and I think also approaches and programs. I know we talked about the hiring a couple lessons ago, and it's important to have diversity. But I also think that there's something to be said about companies that promote within. You know, because that used to be the way you did it. You worked your way up in a company.
Mm-hmm.
And then it says, ask whether anyone in your team has an experience with mentoring, whether formal, informal, as a mentor or mentee.
No.
I kind of already shared, like our CEOs and stuff would do lunches.
No, I don't think I've.
And it says, what are benefits, obstacles, and downsides of those experiences?
Well, like you said, the benefit is that they become more approachable, and I think it builds more of a sense of community and stuff within the organization.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know when I was working as an electrician, the owner of the company, we'd always have company meetings as an entire company. We were small enough. There's only when I started, we had about 50 people there, and when I left, we had about 150. But he'd have these company meetings, and at a few of them, he shared basically like where like everything was open, so where we knew how much the company made, and like he talked about the process that got us to where we were, and it was really cool to be part of, just because he shared his dream with us, and I think that really helped us as a company.
Right.
Want to help him achieve that.
Uh-huh.
I agree. That last company I worked for were very open like that. I think along with the meetings, even if they're not doing formal training, they still need to do some, do team meetings, do department meetings. Like the lady I work for right now, she does everything through texting. And then she's like, well, why haven't you done that? And I'm like, that was like 10 texts ago, and I was working on something, like there's no like formal, like, okay, this is what we're doing now. Especially like I'm in the medical, where with all this Obamacare, like literally daily we're changing, like, oh, we need to track this, or we need to do this, we need to, like, I get that it's all new for all of us, but to constantly be sending out texts is not, I don't think, efficient as if we just had a meeting or like a memo. Okay, this is what we're doing now. So, all right, so analyzing the program. Okay, would a less formal mentoring program be better, where mentees are free to find whatever mentors they need to help them progress in their careers rather than being assigned?
I think no.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
We have to, in order for us to grow, we have to step outside our comfort zone, and most of us aren't comfortable stepping outside our comfort zone. We need that little push.
I agree.
Right.
And then how many? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was also going to say, if you have to find your own, you're going to be more intimidated to have to go approach someone and be like, hey, do you want to be my mentor? And then be like, forget it. But if it's kind of assigned, then you already know that they want to be in the program and they already want to help and stuff.
I agree. I had two thoughts. Let me see if I can remember them. Sorry. Yeah, I don't remember. What was I gonna say? I agree. People need to be pushed out of their comfort zone, and I think there has to be some rhyme and reason to this madness, and so I think that an outside party organizing it and matching is appropriate, because how many times have we, like, someone has seen something in us that we didn't see in ourselves, and then how many times have we worked with people in our callings that we wouldn't normally have, quote, picked, but because we learned to love each other because we work together and we share a common ground and we get to know each other. Like, I think I shared this before. There was an older lady that she was put in the nursery with me, and of course in the nursery there's lots of downtime so you can talk, and I love her, but I don't think I would have gotten to know her if she hadn't been put in nursery with me.
Right.
So I think sometimes you need that outside force. Okay, and then it says, why would a company want to create a formal mentoring program rather than allowing mentoring relationships to form more naturally? I think we kind of covered that. I think diversity and no favoritism, because we are going to, like Barry said, we need to be pushed out of our comfort zone. And then the third question is, what might have been improved in the Federal Reserve Bank program?
I don't know.
Well, that kind of leads into the next question of, why do you think less people signed up?
Maybe time?
Maybe it wasn't advertised very well. Like, it didn't really explain their process.
That's true. Yeah, it's hard to tell why, if it's possible that it was just either like you said, the advertising, or that they the time or the apprehension of what exactly might be the expectation of it.
Yeah, I think at the same time though, it kind of it kind of weeds out the people who actually want promotions or want to progress in the company.
That's true. And then what about if I just had another thought. What if they ended it too soon? Like, shouldn't mentoring be an ongoing?
Yeah, I think so.
Like, can you accomplish everything you need to accomplish to mentor someone? Well, I think if it's just a basic, like, hey, how did you move up in the company? You can handle that in one or two sessions. But to do long-term mentoring, don't you think it really kind of does need to be long-term?
Yeah, I think so.
And then the next question is, what could the company have done to get more applicants? I think show the benefits, and testimonials always are good.
Maybe had like at lunchtime, say, hey, we're meeting at this time to talk about this. If you're interested, come on down, type of thing.
A free lunch would always get people.
Oh yeah.
Okay, it says, what would they do with the mentoring program moving forward? Oh, what should they do? Sorry, if I can read right. What should they do with the mentoring program moving forward? Should they expand? Should they keep it small?
Yeah.
I think more is accomplished in smaller groups, but that's just me.
Well, I have mixed feelings about it. More might be nice because it would give people more opportunities.
Yeah.
But then small is nice from the standpoint that then you can manage it a little bit better.
So what's kind of a good number? Like a group of 10 maybe? A group of 5?
Well, they had what, 6?
Yeah.
Well,
and I could see if they had a different leader with a different skill set for each one, I could see how one might want to join, rotate between them.
Yeah, that's true.
Going forward. Okay, so how do you get more people without forcing them to be involved? Free lunch.
Free lunch, free food. Yep.
Free lunch, and have the people that had a good experience, maybe the ones that didn't have a good experience, talk about it at at the lunch. So you kind of like you said, testimonials. Somebody said testimonials.
And then the next question is, how can they encourage people who really need the mentoring to get mentoring? I think a good way to do this is during yearly or 6-month whatever reviews.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing.
That would be an awesome time to be like, we noticed your performance. If you really want, because let's face it, there are some people who are just they don't have a problem with what. Let me come to my job. Let me do it. Like I was in that position. Like, we knew we were moving to Texas, so I didn't apply for any. Like I was just I was doing my job, but I was working out my job, my time, and so I wasn't really interested in mentoring or moving up in the company because I knew my time was limited. We were just waiting for our house to be finished being built. So I think there's that. I think there's always going to be people who are happy just the way they are and where they are and what they're doing. But if they wake up one morning and say, "Hey, I've been with this company for 5 years and I'm still at the bottom," they might, Well, and I think this is where mentoring, you might be able to retain that person. Instead of them going and looking for a job outside, maybe they can turn inside and be like, okay, so how do I move up to the next tier?
Yeah.
I don't know. And then the next question is, how do they get enough people to mentor?
I think those who have already been mentored you could ask them and say, hey, you had success with this program, would you mind now mentoring these new people?
I think that kind of depends on what they're mentoring on. Like if if it's kind of a training thing, I have this problem of people being bad copies of copies of copies of copies. Like let's just have one trainer. But if it's mentoring more for the emotional and the, like moving up in the company and the culture and stuff like that, then yeah, I totally, I think people who have been with the company more than X amount of years, if you've been here for 5+ years or something like that, you need to be mentoring people and be like, or if you've moved up a position or two or a tier or, a promotion or something, those are the kind of people that need to be sharing what they know. Okay, so ask each team member what they would do. Ask them to be specific about what they would do. I don't know what you would do. You mean, would you be a mentor or a mentee? I don't know. I don't understand that question. Am I just reading it wrong? I don't know.
Yeah, or what would I do to fix the program, or what would I do if I was a mentor or mentee?
I know it doesn't say. It just says ask. The whole section we're talking about moving forward, wrap up. So it just says ask each team member what they would do. Ask them to be specific about what they would do.
I would have free food.
That's a fantastic idea. And
I would implement daily power naps.
That's a fabulous idea.
Hey, like Google and Yahoo and stuff, they have like massage section,
I know. Google's here in Boulder. Oh my heavens, and you would not believe. They have like all these free foods. They feed them breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They have all this stuff. Lounge areas where they hang out.
There's this company out in California called Genentech. They're like one of the top 5 companies to work that you want to work. Whatever that grading, like Google and Yahoo and AOL and whatever are all up in those top 5. And they have a cafeteria. I can't remember if the food's free or not. I want to say yes. But they also have daycare on site. Ooh. And you can go, I think the food, if you're on the clock, is free, but you can order food to take home for dinner.
Nice.
And that you have to pay for. But so if you're working late and you have a family to feed, you can be like, okay, I need, X amount of meals to go.
That's cool. Oh man.
I like the daycare on site. That's kind of awesome too.
Yeah, the company that my husband works for is based out of Portland, Oregon, or Millicent, whatever, somewhere up there, and they have a daycare on site, and they have a gym and the full cafeteria and all this stuff, but not here because it's not the main headquarters.
Huh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I think also in different areas, because based on like taxes and how big of a facility they have, I think also determines what they offer, the perks.
Yeah.
Not that they have to do one way or the other, but
Mm-hmm.
but those kind of things, like, look, we don't even work there, and we're all excited. We're like, let's go work there. How can we get on with Google or Apple or whatever? But
Yep.
well, those are all the questions under the discussion prep.
Fantastic. So we have a doohickeys assignment 2 weeks or next week?
It's next week.
Okay. We better get rolling on that.
Which means that essentially now that we know what they want, they essentially want us to address the recruiting, career development, and motivation and safety. I'll be honest. I need to travel next Saturday to a wrestling tournament.
Okay. I can do it.
I don't mind working now. Like, I would love to take career development, say.
Okay.
And then and we can go from there. Barry gave us a great foundation, but I feel bad that Barry did so much.
I don't know. Stephanie did most of it last time, so.
Well, you gave a great foundation. I didn't see the final product. Sorry. But I'm not saying, Stephanie, you didn't do it. But then Stephanie had to like wrap it all up together and make it pretty. So, yeah.
Yeah. Is that what we want to do then? Is just divide up the 3 sections. We can each just take a section and work on it.
Sure, and then build off of each other.
Okay. Do we want to use the Google Doc again?
Sure, because we can all edit it and see each other's comments, right?
Yep.
Do you think we should create a new one so we're not? Because I don't think we're.
Delete what's there and.
Well, then, because we don't. Are we turning in a new document, or are we adding to the old document to turn it? That's what I'm.
I think we're turning in a new one.
That's what I was thinking too.
Okay.
Well, maybe we could make a new one just so we have the old one. Well, no, we don't need to.
Well, if we leave it, can we go down and create a top of an?
And see, that's what I did. I just copied and pasted all that stuff that was in that Google document into a Word document so that I could submit it through the link. So because I didn't know how to connect those two.
Yeah, and Word does better at spell check and grammar too. So.
Yes.
So I took all the notes that were in that Google Doc and then I transferred it into something else. So I don't mind doing, working in the Google Docs, but then whoever's going to submit it could take it and post it into or copy and paste it into a Word document and then double check it.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And then that way we have everything together, but then that final person just wraps it up. I'm fine with that, or I don't care, one way or the other.
Sounds good to me.
I'll just make a new one real quick.
All right, so if you're taking career development, which one are you going to take, Barry?
Let me look at it again. Get back to there.
Where did we leave off? Equal opportunity or recruiting and hiring for the? We
left off at equal opportunity harassment. That was included in my paper.
Okay, so our three areas are recruiting and hiring, career development, and motivation and safety, which will be next week's.
I'd really like to do motivation and safety, but...
That's fine. You can take it. That's fine. I'll do recruiting and hiring.
Okay.
Fantastic. See, smaller groups sometimes are better.
I know.
Amen.
Look at us.
Right.
And it's not even 45 minutes in it.
Nice.
All right. Barry's falling asleep, so.
Yep. Are we done?
Yep. Good job.
Have a good day, guys. See you next week.
Okay.
Party on.
We'll see ya.